This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins. Scott Dennis is off this week. Our top story, plans to bring back a five-star resort on Longboat Key. The project for the former Colony Resort will continue. This morning, Unicor developers held a press conference. Even though voters did not approve a referendum to add more condos and rooms to the property, new plans won't be much different than the old plans.
Our design team is hard at work. The plan will be very similar as far as the open space. We're going to maintain great open space, great water features, great swimming pools, great landscape. All that will not change. We're also not going to change from a five-star hotel. We're still going to build something very luxurious, something very special.
Whittle says he isn't discouraged by the vote and is excited to start the process. The former Colony Resort closed back in 2010. We will start our other election results on Longboat Key. 2 commission seats were up for grabs last night. In District 4, incumbent Jack Daly won over Larry Grossman. In the at-large seat, former Mayor Jim Brown won over Gene Gillespie. As for those referendums, the majority of voters voted against building a residential development on a vacant property zoned for commercial use. And as we mentioned earlier, they also voted against allowing the new colony to add density to their project. By the way, turnout on Longboat Key was over 50%. Not so much, though, in Sarasota, under 20% turnout. But those who did vote chose to oust one-term Commissioner Susan Chapman. The 3 winners, Jen Ahern Koch, Hagan Brody, and Martin Hyde. Voters will return to the polls May 9th and choose 2 of those 3 in a runoff election. Chapman came in 4th. In the city of Northport, Jill Luke and Pete Emmerich will square off in the runoff there. Again, it'll be on May the 9th. Turnout in Northport was less than 9%. Early voting starts May 1st and will run through Saturday, May 6th at the elections office in downtown Sarasota. New at noon, the city of Venice putting together plans for a new police station there. The Herald Tribune reports the city council has purchased a 10-acre site for the new station. It'll cost $1.85 million. The property is on East Venice Avenue next to the Auburn Woods condos. Now, some residents there are not thrilled about that complex as their new neighbor. Some say they would not have supported the project if they knew it was planned for their area. An amazing Coast Guard rescue caught on videotape. A fishing boat in distress 40 miles west of Egmont Key last night. The captain suffered a leg injury and radioed for help. A helicopter crew from Clearwater and an 87-foot coastal patrol boat from St. Pete came to the rescue. Watch now as video captures the helicopter pulling the man up to safety. He was taken to the hospital where he is now listed in stable condition. Dramatic video out there, and you can bet for one thing it was probably a very chilly night out there, Josh.
Exactly, and chilly nights are going to be in our forecast over the next couple of nights, and it looks like we're going to have some, well, temperatures back to more winter-like conditions as we go through this evening. 54 degrees is our current temperature right now. We're going to struggle to get out of the 50s. I mean, hopefully we can crack the 60-degree mark along the coast, but it's going to be difficult. We have a few clouds out there, but for the most part, we will have sunshine this afternoon. Still winds out of the north and northeast, pretty breezy, and that's transporting that cooler air down from the north along with a kind of a weak cold front that came in, but that's helping to usher that cold air down into our area. There's the sunshine for you, but highs again going to be quite cool compared to just a week or so ago. Temperatures were in the upper 70s and lower 80s, but not in this forecast, at least for today. What does the upcoming weekend look like? We'll let you know in a few minutes from now. Back to you, Ray.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, Josh. New this afternoon, the Tampa man accused of kidnapping his estranged wife was in court today. Last week, Hillsborough County deputies say Trevor Summers snuck into his estranged wife's bedroom and kidnapped her. A witness at a Walgreens near Brandon saw her with her hands tied behind her back and alerted police. She was found safe on Monday in southern Hillsborough County in the town of Ruskin. Trevor Summers facing first-degree attempted murder charges and kidnapping. Closer to home, a teenager is facing charges after deputies found drugs and a gun in his home. Detectives with Manatee County reportedly saw the 15-year-old selling narcotics at the house on 6th Street East. Armed with a search warrant, detectives found marijuana, cocaine, and a loaded gun. The teen was already on supervised release on home invasion robbery charges at the time of this more recent arrest. The Manatee County School Board agreed to work with the County Commission to look into concerns about the old Bayshore High School property. One citizen claims a number of alumni have been diagnosed with cancer over the past 20 years and that those cases could be linked to old fuel tanks buried on the property. They say it could be tainted soil and tainted water there. The school district says this is not a new issue. They say the state DEP has already tested the land and couldn't find any problems, but they say they will work with the county staff over these recent concerns. Also, the board voted to put a referendum on next year's ballot that'll let voters decide how board members should be elected. Voters will choose whether or not the board will be elected in single-member districts or county-wide. Currently, it's an at-large system there. At this hour in North Sarasota, a bike rodeo is underway. Kids learn about bike safety while practicing their skills on a small obstacle course. Kids without bikes can borrow them for the day. They'll also learn all about bicycle helmets and how to wear those. And there's also, best of all, a free lunch. Can't beat that. Speaking of lunch, let's go to the kitchen now. Chef Judy is in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day.
I like that segue in, Ray. That was perfect.
Thank you.
That's right, a Gallagher. I've got to be cooking Irish food. I'm going to make a more modern interpretation of shepherd's pie today. So we're going to use mashed sweet potatoes, of course, with Irish butter. It's going to make the dish really rich. Over at the Fresh Market, they have the classic Irish bangers. So whether you're going to make that for breakfast with eggs and fried potatoes, or what I'm going to do is brown that up with some ground beef and mix it all together with some seasonings and bring in some caramelized onions and a little demi-glace instead of the old-fashioned way of making the whole gravy, which is fine if you want to. I think you're going to like this, and stay with me because today's the day we pick a winner for a $50 gift card to one of our restaurants right here on the Suncoast.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
Every now and then, factories authorize us to give deep discounts on furniture. And that time is now during the FlexSteel Factory Authorized Sale at Bacon's Furniture and Design. Shop the FlexSteel styles you love like Brandon, Dillon, Crosstown, Fleet Street Sectionals, and more. All at the guaranteed lowest authorized prices. Experience the beauty, the functionality, the quality for years to come with a lifetime warranty on FlexSteel's patented spring construction. The FlexSteel Factory Authorized Sale going on now only at Bacon's Furniture and Design.
Luxury for less at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKZ Sports Utility for $249 per month or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Well, good to see you on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone. John Scalzi will be back tomorrow, but this is just out of interest. You know, Monday night we had severe weather, and actually it has now been confirmed by the National Weather Service that 2 tornadoes actually touched down in our area. The first one actually, if I can get this up here, was in Punta Gorda, hit Aspen Road, winds of 100 miles per hour. It was 100 yards wide, path, well, it wasn't on the ground very long, but this was an EF1. We have a scale, an EF scale, up to 5, which is the most powerful tornado that there is. EF1 is on the low end of the scale. E stands for enhanced, F stands for Fujita. Fujita, his name was Dr. Ted Fujita, actually a professor at the University of Chicago, but he studied tornadoes. So they rank them as far as intensity goes. So we had 1 EF tornado that hit Punta Gorda, another EF1 tornado that hit Manasota Key. This hit DeSoto Road, winds of 105 miles per hour. Actually started as a water spout, came on shore. It was only 75 yards wide, but it did some damage and was only on the ground for a very short amount of time. Dew points this afternoon, very low, 18 in Tallahassee, 41 here in Sarasota. Measure of how dry the air is, and it is dry. Temperatures right now in the mid to upper 50s at this time. We're going to struggle to get to that 60-degree mark, at least on the coast, but hopefully we can make it there. Our average for a high this time is 76, so we're going to be well below the average. Our wind forecast does show winds coming down from the north and northeast, and they'll be breezy throughout the day, tonight, and even into tomorrow as well. Also, the National Weather Service has issued a rip current advisory through this evening, so if you are going to the beach, just keep that in mind, but not really a good beach day forecast. We do have sunshine today, but as far as the temperatures go and those northerly winds, making things feel quite chilly. Water vapor imagery has a lot of tan on it. The tan represents dry air on top of us. It's eating away any sort of moisture. It's trying to develop. Little clouds out there right now, but the dry air will erode those away. National Weather Service also issued freeze warnings and a hard freeze warning up here in north central Florida. So that's just precursor of what's to come thanks to this big trough dipping down from the north. A jet stream, the boundary between the cold air to the north and the warm air to the south, has buckled, and it's allowing all this cold and chilly air to spill southward. Area of high pressure now the dominant feature of the southeast, and it's going to be our main weather maker over the next several days. So lots of sunshine, but at least for the immediate concern, cooler temperatures will be in our forecast. Also had a big storm system that affected the east coast, the northeast coast yesterday, that's now moved into Canada, but the heaviest snow out of that fell inland. Our futurecast really quiet here. Weak front came by, but other than a few passing clouds, nothing doing here, just clear skies. But with clear skies tonight and those northerly winds, we're going to really feel quite chilly this evening. Low tide at 10:04 p.m. By the way, for the boating forecast, the small craft advisory has been lifted, but sea is still offshore anywhere from 3 to 5 feet. Your high today, well, just tweak this, but should be around 59, 60 degrees, 38 for the overnight low. So when are we going to warm up? Well, in a few days. We get into the weekend, and early next week, we'll be back in the mid-70s, right?
Thank you, Josh. In our health news today, there's new health concern for pregnant women. It's called the cytomegalovirus, or CMV. It's usually spread by small kids in daycares. About 1 out of every 150 babies are born with the infection, but according to the CDC, only 1 in 5 babies will be sick from the virus. Many babies affected have complications similar to those with the Zika virus.
If you would acquire CMV while you're pregnant, there is an increased risk for complications in pregnancies. Those complications can be preterm delivery, stillbirths, and having babies with a lot of brain abnormalities and eye abnormalities.
And like any virus, doctors say the best protection is good hygiene. That means wash your hands, get enough rest, and if you're pregnant, make sure you're taking your vitamins. There's a unique approach for new mothers who suffer from postpartum depression. Canadian researchers are finding that the combination of tryptophan and a blueberry juice can fight off the feelings of depression that normally peak 5 days after the delivery. The women who took the supplements were significantly less vulnerable to sadness when compared to those who did not take them. While the study was small, the results, they say, are quite promising. Michelle Obama's Healthy School Lunch program might be in jeopardy. The School Nutrition Association is recommending some rollbacks on federal nutritional guidelines. Critics say the standards are set so high that the food just wasn't appetizing. However, researchers concluded the program did result in increased levels of nutrients. And another byproduct of March Madness. More men are scheduling vasectomies in March in order to recuperate while watching the college basketball tournament. According to the Cleveland Clinic, there's a 10% increase in vasectomies between 2014 and 2016 in March. Recovery time is usually 2 days, which is plenty of time to watch some games. And it's not just hoops that has guys going under the knife. There's also vasectomies during the Masters golf tournament and the release of some popular video games. Get those frozen peas ready. Speaking of March Madness, an exciting start last night. We'll have some highlights for you. And Goodyear is phasing out the blimps, but they've got something else lined up. We'll show you coming up.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Mantra Fitness works us out on the Megaformer. Plus, we learn magic tricks, and Chef Judy has the best St. Patrick's Day dining.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you. ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
In town? On the town. The Mark offers landmark living in the center of everything you love about Sarasota. Priced from the 700s, spacious residences and elevated club-level amenities create a private oasis in the sky. Promenade shopping and dining put the best of downtown downstairs. Sales gallery open daily at the corner of Pineapple and State Street just south of Maine. The Mark, Sarasota. Presented by Coulter.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Exciting start to March Madness last night, starting with New Orleans and Mount St. Mary's. The game was in Dayton. Mount St. Mary's won by a point, 67-66. Kansas State beat Wake Forest 95-88. This was the Wildcats' first tournament win in 5 years.
I think we believed we could win. I'm not sure anyone else did. I know we talked a lot about, nationwide, the networks, everybody had them moving on. We felt if we guarded and took care of the ball and moved the basketball, we'd be able to score.
You think he was shouting last night? The big dance continues with 2 more games tonight. North Carolina Central squares off with UC Davis, and Providence battles Southern California. Finals are not until April 3rd in Phoenix. Well, that music. More spring training games today. The Baltimore Orioles visit the Pirates in Lecom Park in Bradenton. And the Rays host the Boston Red Sox in Port Charlotte. Both games start at 1:05. A family dynasty in the world of dog sledding. Musher Mitch Seavey is now the oldest winner of the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race. The 57-year-old arrived in Nome, Alaska after racing 1,000 miles across the wilderness. This is his third win. He also won back in 2004 and 2013. He outran his son, who was a defending champion. Goodyear's iconic helium blimps are no more. The company is deflating the last of its blimps yesterday. Blimps have hovered over Super Bowls, auto races, Academy Awards, and although the blimps are retired, the company says it will continue its flight program with something that looks similar but will have a structured frame. And although they're considered airships, Goodyear says they'll still be called blimps because blimp sounds better than semi-rigid dirigibles. I can really say that. Let's go back to the kitchen now. Chef Judy has more on St. Patrick's Day and shepherd's pie.
Okay, so we have the bangers, the Irish sausage, all browned. I cut them up. You can pull them out of the casing if you want or break them up. And the ground beef, garlic salt, kosher salt, and black pepper. So that part's done. To bring in that rich flavor, you can buy a packet of demi-glace. Now, demi-glace is a very, very, very reduced stock. Usually in a restaurant, it's about 4 days worth of veal stock that's simmered and simmered until it becomes just a glaze. It used to be that it'd be about 40 bucks to buy a cube, and now you can buy this little packet. So I mix it in with some beef broth to give it extra rich flavor. Over here, I'm starting to caramelize the onions. Now, if you're just gonna make shepherd's pie, but you might think you might miss the cabbage, no problem. Throw in some shredded cabbage. You can even put in caraway seeds, which would taste really good, just like this. Also, if you have leftover corned beef and cabbage, you can dice up the corned beef and chop up the cabbage and potatoes. That goes right into your shepherd's pie. So shepherd's pie is just as much about the next day with leftovers. So we're gonna let this continue to caramelize down till it looks like that, till we have that beautiful dark caramelization. And then what I do is I'm gonna take a little bit of that richness right there and pour it in there. Now we're gonna get ready to go in the bowl. So I've drained off a bit of the very fatty part of it. This particular casserole, it's gonna feed about, 5 or 6 people here. So you can use individual or by twos that I love Le Creuset for something like that, or a nice hearty pot. So while this is still caramelizing down, we'll get some that's already done and that will go right on top. Doesn't it look good? All right. Now we're going to take this demi-glace and we're going to pour the demi-glace, and that's going to give this big beef richness. Again, by all means, you can use gravy, and my goodness, you could go vegetarian and just use a lot of chopped root vegetables or roast chicken if you did not want to do the traditional way with the sausages and the hamburger. Now, I want to remind you that you can go on mysuncoast.com and click on our new dining contest. Every week, there's a winner for a $50 gift card to dine at one of our local restaurants here on the Suncoast. You'll also sign up for our culinary newsletter, so you'll find out what's happening around town. It's going to be so good. Come back with me. We'll finish this up and get ready to start celebrating St. Patty's Day.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller, The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Things can happen in an instant. We never expected Brady to be in an accident. And if he didn't have blood donors, he wouldn't be here.
To Suncoast blood donors and everybody in this community, I'd say thank you. You know, I'm gonna pay it forward.
Although the financial crisis was some years back, it's still hurting many seniors today. But if you're a homeowner 62 or older, there's a mortgage program that just might make life a little easier. It's technically called a home equity conversion mortgage, but to keep it simple, let's call it a reverse mortgage loan. With the reverse mortgage, you can convert your home equity into cash.
We're not overwhelmed with paying the bills anymore.
And at the same time, eliminate your monthly mortgage payments.
We've got money in the bank.
You never give up ownership.
And smiles on our faces.
For your free information kit, call now. You'll have to pay your property taxes and insurance and keep up with maintenance, but you won't make mortgage payments. You'll receive money. For your free information kit, call now.
Call 1-800-634-1517 for more information. That's 1-800-634-1517.
Car experts and customers agree there's a whole lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru offers more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And Subaru had the best resale value of all brands for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $209 a month or get 0% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A former South Carolina police officer is looking to throw out key evidence filed against him in an upcoming civil rights trial. Nearly 2 years ago, police say this man, Michael Slager, shot Walter Scott in the back as Scott ran from him after a traffic stop. Scott was unarmed. Evidence he wants to throw out includes this bystander's cell phone video of the shooting. Slager faces murder charges in state court, where he first had a hung jury. The trial on charges he violated Scott's civil rights is scheduled for May in South Carolina. The man charged in the Fort Lauderdale airport shooting is back in court today. 26-year-old Esteban Santiago having a hearing on his mental health. Back in January, Santiago allegedly shot and killed 5 people and wounded 6 others right there. His attorneys say he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder, but they say he is competent to stand trial, and that trial is scheduled for October. An update this noon on that massive blizzard up north. As much as 41 inches of snow fell on parts of upstate New York, the coasts of Massachusetts and Maine, up to a foot of snow. Wind gusts 80 miles an hour knocked out power to 60,000 people. FP&L crews are helping local companies. Driving's a nightmare, and being outside isn't much easier.
The little icicles, it gets right in you. It hurts.
I wish I had a pair of glasses on right now because I can hardly keep my eyes open because of the wind.
At least 2,000 National Guard troops have been activated to help with relief efforts, and winter just not seem to want to end there. And Josh, you said yesterday that March is the snowiest month of the year?
It can be, yeah. You can get 1 or 2 really big snowstorms in March because it's that transition month, and still winter's trying to hang on, but there's moisture that's surging up from the south, and these big lows that develop maybe around Albuquerque or Colorado, or they shoot out of the southwest, and they can just scoop up all that moisture, tap it into that cold air, wrap it around, and then, you know, you have a big snowstorm. So I remember a few years ago, Washington, D.C. just got pummeled with something like 30, 36 inches of snow just in the D.C. area. Anyway, no snow in our forecast, but it will feel a little like winter, especially as we get into this evening. 54 degrees is our current temperature, and then as we go through the day, we're calling for mostly sunny skies, but our high today topping out in the upper 50s, lower 60s if we're lucky. But Ray, tonight, yikes, our temperatures will fall into the 30s, and we will talk more about that in the main weather.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Josh. Happening now overseas, a high-profile vote for the next Prime Minister of the Netherlands. There's 2 front runners on the ballot with very different views. 2-term incumbent Mark Rutte is facing a candidate named Geert Wilders, who is vowing to ban Islam. close borders from Muslim nations, and pull out of the European Union. The outcome of this election could change the landscape of the European Union and bring an end to the country's immigration policies. Back in this country, reaction continues to leak of President Trump's tax return from over 10 years ago. Reporter Stephanie Ramos has more on that and other issues today in Washington.
Today, President Trump gets out of Washington and travels to Detroit as 2 pages of his income taxes from more than a decade ago are out. He's spent the last year during the campaign refusing to release them.
Well, I'm not releasing the tax returns because, as you know, they're under audit.
But now that he's president, there's an IRS requirement that all presidents and vice presidents since the 1970s get audited every year.
Yes or no, do you believe voters have a right to see your tax returns before they make a final decision?
I don't think they do.
But now a glimpse into Trump's 2005 tax returns. It shows an income of nearly $153 million. He ended up paying $38 million in federal taxes. Trump's tax rate, about 25%, and he declared $103 million in losses.
Came in the mail over the transom.
On MSNBC, independent journalist David K. Johnston says he received the 2-page tax summary in the mail anonymously. Johnston talked about it this morning on Good Morning America.
Everybody else who's prosperous in America is on the alternative minimum tax. If that tax hadn't existed, Donald Trump would have paid a tax rate on his $153 million lower than the average paid by the poorest half of Americans.
This morning, Trump going off on Johnston, tweeting, "Does anybody really believe that a reporter who nobody ever heard of went to his mailbox and found my tax returns? Fake news." But what we can believe is that the document is accurate. The White House confirms the accuracy of the leaked document, but says it was illegally obtained. And about President Trump's claim that former President Obama wiretapped Trump Tower, late this morning, the top Republican and Democrat on the Intelligence Committee announced there's no indication, no evidence that Trump Tower was wiretapped. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
The president also fighting now with a famous rapper. He's firing back at Snoop Dogg after the rapper pointed a toy gun at a clown dressed like President Trump and pulls the trigger in his new music video. Trump tweeted this morning, "Can you imagine what the country would be saying if Snoop Dogg, failing career and all, had aimed and fired the gun at President Obama? Jail time." The rapper was also criticized over the video by Senator Marco Rubio. In consumer news, there's high expectations. Interest rates could go up today. The Federal Reserve is wrapping up its 2-day meeting. Economists expect that the U.S. Central Bank will raise interest rates by 1/4 percentage point. If so, this will be the 3rd time rates have gone up in the past 10 years. A follow-up on the massive hacking incident at Yahoo, the Justice Department will be announcing charges against Russian-affiliated hackers. There's still no word on whether the hack was connected to the Russian government itself. The breach affected hundreds of millions of Yahoo accounts worldwide. A technology blunder on board an international flight. A woman says she was burned by her headphones. These are pictures of her face left blackened and her hand blistered after she says her battery-powered headphones caught fire. She told the Australian Transport Safety Bureau that she was sleeping and listening to music on her headphones when she was awakened by a loud explosion. Shortly after, she felt a burning sensation on her face. She threw the headphones on the floor and small flames began shooting from them. Flight attendants had to pour a bucket of water on them. Officials believe the batteries in the device likely caused the fire. The plane was flying from Beijing to Melbourne. What was supposed to be a quick stop for breakfast turned into a critical, life-saving effort at a McDonald's in South Florida. The employee literally had to jump into action to save an off-duty officer's life. Derek Shore has the story.
Hello there, 2 McChickens.
For Pedro Viloria, he's used to working the drive-thru window at this Doral McDonald's, but he's never jumped out of it until this morning.
At that moment, I thought I'd rather save that woman's life.
Pedro says it was all fine. The customer, an off-duty Miami-Dade police officer with their 2 kids in the back seat, pulled up and paid without a problem. But when he returned with their food,
I see she's like inflating her neck, like trying to breathe, and I immediately thought something was going wrong.
Unconscious, the officer's foot slips off the brake, her SUV rolling forward, and Pedro literally jumps out and into action.
I thought, oh my God, this woman's unconscious. I gotta do something because she's gonna crash, maybe.
Video shows that SUV narrowly miss another car and hit a curb.
Like, boom, here stops the car.
Pedro runs back in for help, but little did he know just how close help was. A customer, said to be a paramedic, jumps out of her car to assist. Then seconds later, an off-duty Miami-Dade fire rescue member walks in for breakfast. When he figures out what's going on, he grabs his partner outside and gets to work.
And they were all the people like doing like this.
Doing CPR. And with the use of an AED machine, they're able to revive that officer.
Okay, here it is. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
As for Pedro, he hopes she makes it. And as for being a hero?
The real heroes are the fire rescues.
What a great story. Nice to see happy endings for a change, right, Chef Judy?
Oh man, what a story. I want to make that guy dinner. That was amazing. So let's get back to our shepherd's pie. I already have one in the oven because the cheddar cheese is melting on top. Here we have our base of the Irish bangers that are browned off with ground chuck, caramelized onions, a little cabbage, that demi-glace. It's going to give it a richness. And of course, since I have a Guinness open, let's throw in a splash of Guinness. Now, I'm just going to take frozen peas right out of the bag and top it on there. And then I've mashed up some sweet potatoes, a different take, less starchy, and we're going to put the sweet potatoes right on top. Whipped them, just roasted them in the oven. I always prefer roasting sweet potatoes instead of boiling them because you're going to get that beautiful sweetness out of them, and then they just pop right out of the skins. Mash them up, salt, pepper, and like I said, Irish butter. Now we're going to put some cheddar cheese on top and get it all covered there. There we go. And then that's going in the oven. This is just going to be such an easy dish. This is also good because if you're watching the NCAA tournament, like my family, it's one of those dishes that you can just really enjoy sitting around. Everybody can gather their items and some Irish soda bread, and you have it done. Now look at this. The cheese has bubbled and browned. I'll put it on this little heater holder there. Some great shredded Kerrygold cheddar, aged cheddar, and it's going to be bubbly and warm, and it's just what you want, especially because it's actually cold. Often it's a bit warm here on the Suncoast for St. Paddy's Day, so enjoy the cold weather. Put on a big green sweater, take out your green casserole dishes, and there you go. You have shepherd's pie. And remember, today's Wednesday. They'll be drawing somebody tonight to win a $50 gift card to one of our restaurant partners right here on the Suncoast. Simply go on mysuncoast.com, click on the dining page, and click where it has the contest. You'll enjoy that. You'll enjoy some extra recipes I have, and I'm on the Suncoast View this afternoon, so we'll have some tips on where you might want to dine for St. Patrick's Day. I think we're just about ready to serve lunch. I'll be back in a few minutes.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
In town? On the town. The Mark offers landmark living in the center of everything you love about Sarasota. Priced from the 700s, spacious residences and elevated club-level amenities create a private oasis in the sky. Promenade shopping and dining put the best of downtown downstairs. Sales gallery open daily at the corner of Pineapple and State Street just south of Maine. The Mark, Sarasota. Presented by Coulter.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
Looking at our tower cam, it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. There's the Sarasota Bay, the Van Wezel, looking out over to Longboat Key on this beautiful Wednesday. Not bad, at least it doesn't look bad. You walk outside, well, it's a little bit cooler than we have experienced in quite some time. Check out our current temperatures right now. Hello, I'm meteorologist Josh Stone in for John Scalzi, but John returns tomorrow. And he'll have to deal with the very chilly temperatures that are in the forecast for tomorrow morning. 54 degrees right now in Sarasota, 61 in Venice. There's a few 60s here on the map in Inglewood and Punta Gorda and Northport. We're going to hopefully get to the 60-degree mark today, but might be a little bit of a struggle. They'll have a few clouds around, but I think we'll have mostly sunny skies by the rest of the afternoon. A northerly wind, maybe 10 to 15 miles at times. Northerly wind is all due to a cold front that's come down to reinforce the cold air. It's going to be coming down from the north, and we're really going to feel it tonight. We have a rip current advisory issued by the National Weather Service. Goes through this evening, so you're heading to the beach today. Just keep that in mind. Not really a great beach forecast today. I mean, we do have sunshine, but temperatures are quite cool for enjoying yourself at the beach today, other than maybe going out on a walk with some sweats on. As far as our radar goes, well, it's quiet. Monday night, not so much. Had 2 tornadoes that actually touched down. That's been confirmed now by the National Weather Service. But no severe weather at all in our forecast, at least for the next several days. We have dry air on top of us, shows up in tan, draping the entire peninsula of Florida right now. That's eroding any sort of moisture that will possibly try to get going. So really mostly sunny skies in our forecast. Also, this is not in our viewing area, but just a foreshadowing of what to come for tonight. National Weather Service has issued freeze warnings and a hard freeze warning in north central Florida because of the chilly air, this big trough that's allowing all that cold air to spill southward. And it is going to be chilly. High pressure, the dominant feature now in the southeast. We're going to see this area of high pressure stay around for quite some time. Had that big snowstorm that affected the northeast yesterday. That's now well into Canada. Some residual snow coming on the back side of it, but most everything is clearing up for them. Our future cast is quiet. Again, weak cold front comes by, but that's helping to drag down the colder air from the north, along with that system that affected the northeast the other day, that wraparound counterclockwise flow driving and reinforcing that shot of cold air coming our way. But sunshine will be in our forecast. If you are taking your boat out today, the high tide will be at 2:37 p.m., low tide at 10:04 this evening. Sunset at 7:39. We'll have a beautiful sunset tonight with clear skies. The small craft advisory that we had earlier has now been lifted. Expect a north wind anywhere from 10 to 15 knots over the Gulf of Mexico. Sea is just offshore 3 to 5 feet. And temperature at the beach today in the upper 50s. High today, 59, lower 60s. It's going to be quite cooler than our average high is 76. And as far as our low tonight, 38 degrees. Now that's just at the coast. You go inland, temperatures will be in the mid-30s. You go north, temperatures will be in the low 30s, maybe upper 20s in some locations in Florida. All right, as we get into the weekend, we finally rebound to more comfortable and average-like temperatures back in the mid-70s. And like I said before, throughout the next several days, lots of sunshine thanks to that high pressure dominating the southeast. Ray?
All right, thank you, Josh. We're learning more now about the VIPs coming here next month for the Sarasota Film Festival. For opening night, the fest will welcome director Rory Kennedy for her film Take Every Wave, The Life of Laird Hamilton. Other big names include actress Diane Lane, who will be at the festival for her film Paris Can Wait. Aisha Tyler will be here for her directorial debut on the film Axis. She's best known for her roles in TV shows like Criminal Minds, The Talk, and also Talk Soup. The Sarasota Film Festival runs from April 5th through the 19th. She's an amazing Suncoast woman who began her life on the other side of the globe and came here not by choice, but she has since survived and thrived. This is a great story. Here's our Linda Carson.
Poonen Mani's journey has taken her far from the small Indian village where she was born. She had big dreams.
I wanted to be a lawyer. I was on my way. I was third year of a college.
Then suddenly her dreams ended.
My dad came to get me from college and he dropped me home. And I was like, what is going on? I was so shocked, surprised, afraid, scared. What have I done? Why is dad picking me up from college? And Mom told me, oh, the boy and his family is going to come see you.
She had never met the boy before, but 10 days later, against her will, they were married.
Arranged marriage when I was 17 and had to leave my college and become a housewife, and was a victim of physical abuse in that marriage.
Her husband moved them to the U.S. when her daughter was a year old. It was hard alone in a new culture. She had 2 more children, and the marriage became unbearable. After 18 years, she got divorced.
Mother of 3 children, house on a mortgage, no child support, no alimony. That was my rock bottom.
But she had her kids and a small restaurant that was barely paying for itself. It became her salvation.
It was hard work, 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours of the day. And then my girls were my right hand, and then my son was only 6. But my daughters worked every night. My eldest commuted from college to go to USF, so we don't have to hire too many servers. We served, we bussed, we did everything.
Her restaurant became immensely popular, and now she's contributing to the community in countless ways. She recently sponsored the winning girls team in the rowing regatta, and she's reaching out to her homeland.
I established an organization. It's called Share Care Global. I want to help women and children across the globe, empowering them with education and fight hunger and poverty.
And her life lesson?
Just put your best foot forward. When you are in a business world, the biggest lesson my father gave me, do not procrastinate. Do what you have to do and have a faith in God and yourself.
You can find this amazing woman here in her restaurant, Tandoor, on Cooper Creek Boulevard. But she's reaching out from here to help others all across the globe. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Movie right there. Author Stephen King will be signing books today in downtown Sarasota. His latest novel is called The End of Watch. It's taking place at Bookstore One on South Palm Avenue in Sarasota. King has lived on Casey Key for years. To be involved in the signing, you must buy a book from the store. He is not signing anything else besides that book. The book signing starts in less than 2 hours at 2 o'clock. And by the way, tomorrow at the same bookstore, Jerry Springer will be there signing his new book. Coming up, actor Ben Affleck says he is doing better and updated his alcohol rehab after this.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Does it really matter what type of light bulb you use?
We have a huge selection of bulbs. I gave Stella LEDs because they can last up to 20 years.
Ace is a place that knows a lot can change in 20 years, except these light bulbs.
Hi. Oh, sure.
Right now, buy 2 get 1 free on all gallons of interior and exterior paint. March 8th to 20th only. 6 convenient Sarasota locations and now open in Bradenton, Northport, and soon Osprey.
Every now and then, factories authorize us to give deep discounts on furniture. And that time is now during the Flex Steel Factory Authorized Sale at Bacon's Furniture and Design. Shop the Flex Steel styles you love like Brandon, Dillon, Crosstown, Fleet Street Sectionals, and more. All at the guaranteed lowest authorized prices. Experience the beauty, the functionality, the quality for years to come with a lifetime warranty on Flex Steel's patented spring construction. The Flex Steel Factory Authorized Sale going on now only at Bacon's Furniture and Design.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean, really moves me.
wonder.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
Modern's shepherd pie.
That's right. And Pat, I want to acknowledge your email you just sent me in the break. You're absolutely right. Traditional shepherd's pie is made with ground lamb. Thus, I call this the modern interpretation. A lot of restaurants nowadays, Josh, you'll find different ways. Recently, I ate at a vegan restaurant. It was their root vegetable shepherd's pie. And for the past several years, I've made mine with the Irish Bangers. So it gives that sausage and ground beef a little extra flavor if you're not using ground lamb. But traditionally, that is. Mine's a little out of the box with the fried caramelized onions and cabbage, and of course, sweet potatoes mashed on top instead of the traditional white potatoes.
That's
so a fun little play on a very classic dish indeed.
But at least we have the classic peas on top of it.
We have the classic peas. You always have to remember
Exactly.
that. You can get this recipe and so much more by simply going on mysuncoast.com and clicking on the dining page. You'll get extra St. Patty's tips, and I will be on the Suncoast View at 4 o'clock with more ideas for St. Patrick's Day weekend.
All right, back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, folks. Sounds great. The star of the film Get Out is Daniel Kaluuya. He says he resents having to prove that he's black. The British actor responds to comments by Samuel L. Jackson. Jackson said he would have liked to have seen an American take on the Get Out lead rather than a Brit, but now he says his comments were taken out of context. Kaluuya tells GQ that it's frustrating to have his ethnicity credentials questioned at every turn. The creator of SpongeBob SquarePants says he's battling Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS. Stephen Hillenburg tells Variety that he will keep working on the show as long as he can. Nickelodeon has pledged its support to the 55-year-old who used to teach marine biology before he made SpongeBob back in 1999. Ben Affleck has wrapped up his treatment for alcohol addiction. The actor and director made the announcement in a Facebook post yesterday. He says it's the first of many steps toward a positive recovery. He also says he wants to be the best father he can and show his kids there's no shame in getting help. And he thanks Jennifer Garner. He and Garner have 3 kids together. They announced their divorce back in 2015.
Who doesn't love this guy? Look at him. Oh, but hair would make you better.
Well, it turns out Gru has a twin brother in Despicable Me 3. The latest trailer is now out. In it, it's like Drew is trying to get him to return to his bad ways. Now, he put them to the side when he adopted those 3 girls. Despicable Me 3 hits theaters on June 30th. Beauty and the Beast isn't even out yet, and it's already breaking records. According to Fandango, the Disney live-action film has become its #1 family film for advance ticket sales ever. It surpasses the previous record holder, Finding Dory. Beauty and the Beast opens in theaters this Friday. And finally, Cheerios, looking to boost global bee populations. The company is partnering with Vessi Seeds and pledging to send out 100 million wildflower seeds. Anybody interested in helping them can bring back the bees campaign on the Cheerios website. You'll receive 100 free seeds. Recipients are asked to plant them in a bee-friendly area. Bee populations have been declining in recent years. It's a growing concern because bees are crucial pollinators for worldwide food supplies.
I love that idea. I think that's really important, and we all have some form of a garden or potted herbs or things like that. You'd be amazed where you can plant them to bring the bees, and that's really important.
You forget how important bees actually are, don't you?
That's right.
That's right. Well, the weather's going to sting tonight with temperatures falling into the 30s, but we will rebound by the weekend. Be back in the mid-70s then.
You waited 30 seconds to say that.
Exactly.
That was awesome.
But it was worth the wait. Thanks for watching. Haley's here at 5, and I'll see you in the morning.